Hey everyone, welcome to the demo scene for the Medieval Battle Sounds. This is a pretty cool package. It's all audio, but it's set up in such a way that you can get something like 4,000 or 5,000 combinations just in these buttons right here. And if you combine them in even more ways, you can get tens of thousands of combinations of actual sounds to populate your game with. So when you bring in the package, this is what you'll get, this SFA Studios folder. All of my stuff is going to be in there. Some editor scripts, this is a load welcome for you, some fonts and all that stuff. So in the Medieval Battle Sounds, it's broken down into a few different things. So each of, this first one is just combined clips that you can just use. There's 5 different ones, and there you go, and you can randomize these if you want. We're not going to actually use these in the demo because instead we've got the clips broken up into 3 parts. So like Axe on Flesh has an axe sound, which is just like this, a flesh sound, which is kind of like this, and an impact sound, kind of like this. And together, when they are put together, they sound like this. Oops, that's arrow on flesh, axe on flesh, kind of like that. And so you can randomize between these 5, and if your game is tight on space or RAM, then I would suggest just using these 5 just to keep it a little less full. However, if you want a massive amount of audio that is changes every single time your characters hit or swing, then definitely use the demo scene system that we've got set up here. So we've got all of those. It's very well organized for you. So there's the general sounds in the bow and arrow section. There's other sections like sounds like the arrow being pulled back, notched, and shot, and also these flight whooshes, which we'll go over here. There's a demo of that in the demo scene. Sounds for different things breaking, which is often important in some games if your characters are able to break weapons and other stuff. You can of course use these sounds, like here's the metal armor break. You can use that in different ways. Actually, you'd easily be like a door breaking down, you know, and you can also combine them as well and to get unique sounds that you can't find elsewhere, and some missed sounds as well. So let's go through the demo scene right now. Alright, so when I click each one of these, it's actually randomizing all 3 sections, the axe sound, the impact sound, and the flesh sound. So there's 125 different combinations that could occur from this sound. We also have the axe on metal, axe on wood. Then we've got club on flesh. Right there. So there's a difference between, you know, axe and club on wood. So let's hear the difference here. I'm going to go back and forth between the 2 a few times. And do the same with the metal. There you go. We've got fist on flesh, metal, and wood as well. This is the sword. And then the shield on flesh. Now we also have a shield on metal and wood. I put an asterisk here because I'm actually using the sound from the sword on metal and the sword on wood instead of the shield on flesh for the flesh sound. So 2 of the 3 sounds are the same as the shield on flesh, but the 3rd sound is actually pulled from the sword section. The shield does not have a dedicated shield on metal and shield on wood. In this case, I want to show how you can actually mix and match these to produce completely new sound combinations. So these are great block sounds, like if a metal weapon is hitting a shield or a wood weapon is hitting a shield. So we also have sounds for the arrow when it hits. And you could, of course, combine this with other sounds if you want something a little less subtle, because arrows tend to be subtle. And then we also have sounds for these different sounds here. There's 5 of each of these in this bottom row here. And it's going to randomize between them all. This is an arrow being pulled back. And this is the arrow being put back without shooting the bow. So like you pull back the arrow and you don't shoot, you just let it back down. This is that sound. And the arrow being shot. Here's the miss swoosh. There's 5 different of those. And then we've got these breaking sounds. Now these can be used in other ways as well, but they're designed specifically to sound like either armor or shield or a weapon breaking. And finally, this last section is the arrow whoosh sounds. Now these are, there's actually, I can actually show you, minimize this. There's this arrow sound Doppler thing going here, and it's actually going, here's the camera right there, and this sound Doppler is going back and forth in front of the camera. So if we turn on the arrow sounds, what we'll hear is the arrow swooshing by us. Let's hear that again. So there's 5 different sounds here. There you go. Now, if we look at these here, all this is doing is toggling these objects on and off. Each one has the audio clip attached to it. It's playing on awake and it's looping. It's got the Doppler setting all the way up to 5. It's a 3D sound, and I customized the roll-off to be pretty fast. I didn't want the sound to be getting really loud like a train coming or something. I wanted to go straight past like a whooshing sound. So you can play with that and play with the max distance, but you basically throw this audio source onto an arrow or any other projectile that's moving, and it will sound like this as it goes past a character. And if the character turns around, you'll get the right proper 3D sound settings. So there's a lot you can do with this, and I want to show you before I end the demo here, not sure what this is, the audio, let me turn this off, the audio control object. So this has my audio controller script onto it, and it's a pretty powerful script. It also needs an audio source. So it has sections for audio loops, which we're not using here. If I create one here, then you can see that you can name it. It's got audio clips, and it will randomize the loop between this. A chance of playing, which you can actually ignore for the loops, and the volume setting, choice just for volume by speed, pitch by speed, and so on. But we can actually look at these more detail on the audio clip section, which we've populated with all these different clips here. So the Axon Flesh has these 5 different audios, and you can find them in the project right there. It has a name that we can use to call the function or the clip, which is great. You can have as many clips as you want, and the script will randomize. Every time you play this, it will pick one at random. This chance of playing here, it might be used in some of your uses here, but you can actually lower this if it's not 100, it's a percent of chance. So if you put it on 50%, then half the time the clip will play, half the time it won't play. You can also adjust the volume, so if you think the clang sounds are too loud, you can actually bring that down from 100 to something lower. You can also do volume by speed if this is on a moving object, or by pitch, and so on. So I basically set up a whole bunch of these, and then inside the UIs on the buttons here, let's take the Axon Flesh, which is this button right up here in the top left. Down at the bottom here, I'm calling on the click the audio controller, so I just bring this audio controller object in there. And then we're going to choose the function SFB audio controller, play audio string, and just type in the string we want to play right there. And the script, if we break it down, we can actually load that up. It's pretty easy to understand. I commented it a little bit. I'll try to comment a little bit more. Basically, when you click play audio, it takes the name of a string, and it's actually going to use this function to find the ID, audio clip ID. So that makes it easier if you have a list of audio, and you know, we think more in words than numbers. I think more in words than numbers, at least. So you can go through this. It's a pretty simple script, but it's actually quite powerful, and you can easily update it. It's written in JavaScript, but I know a lot of you are going to hate me for that, but it works as is, and it would be extremely easy to translate to C#, I think. And as a added bonus, that's a great way to learn. So if it's something that you want yourself, then I suggest you switch it to C# and see what I'm doing. You can actually make it better. I'm sure it can be made better. Everything always can. So there we go. If you have any questions, let me know on the forums. And have a great day, everybody.